The Sailing Education Association of Sheboygan presents lessons experienced by sailing and business leaders.
The great thing about sailing is that gets you freedom to be offshore and to spend time with people that share your passion. And the lessons that you learn on the water of leadership, teamwork, overcoming adversity, dealing with the elements when you can't control the weather really becomes a good lesson for life, because as we all go through lives, you don't know what curveballs are going to come your way, but by being out in the ocean, you really learn.
I'm not sure my business career didn't help me with the sailing. Everything helps. Winning and trying to win is the same, whether it's business or sport. Business and sport have a lot in common. They both were somewhat risky. That adds to the excitement and the anticipation.
I'd like to hark back to MIT, which spends a lot of time and effort on creating, let's say, an inset mindset. They really want you to understand the problem-solving process. And it isn't just problem-solving, it's objective setting, and then the whole lead down from that to arrive at a conclusion and actually implement it, and then review it, and then change it, and then review it again. And if you're looking out at sailboats as an example, and looking at ways to improve the sailing speed and maneuverability and capability of that machine, the net of it is that you're looking for ways to make it easier, to make it lighter, to make it stronger, to make it simpler to run.
To try to get people to change a mindset, I found to be a key challenge. What I tried to tell them, that sitting there and managing your business isn't worth it. What you got to do if you want to be successful, and our company to be successful where it is you are, you have to lead.
The fact of the matter is that Bob James hit it right on the head. The leadership is trying to get the whole team headed west. And if you've got a good team, you get them headed west because they understand both the problem, the method of achieving that objective, and then the teamwork that's necessary. And these are all things that exist in the sailing world.
If you care about sailing and you're interested in what makes sailboats go fast, there's no game that is better than the America's Cup. And it isn't just a sailing game, as you well know. If you like life and you like business and you like achievement and you like goal setting and goal attainment, how can you do better than the America's Cup?
You know, the idea of focus on the preparation, focus on doing the little things right. It's like an awful lot of sports where if you do the little things, you can win the big things.
When you get a combination of, just good guys with great attitudes, egos, but they come from different backgrounds and a lot of the times different cultures, you actually get a pretty creative way of making decisions and really solving problems, and compromising, and, how you sort of, eventually work your way through this path, to hopefully winning the cup.
You got to analyze and research the weather. You got to analyze the race course where you're going to race. You have to analyze the tides and the effect that it's going to have on you. And you have to study tactics of what other people do at the start and other things when they run into different situations. So there's a ton of research involved. And I think that would surprise people.
You evaluate the situation, you plan what you're going to do about it, and then you act or implement. And then you come back and analyze, plan, implement.
It's taught us how to be better sailmakers, how to be better businessmen, how to understand the materials that we use better, how to buy better, which companies make the best materials, which glue manufacturer to work with. We've been very fortunate from that end.
You go to a championship or regatta and you finish in a certain level, being able to go back and analyze it and say, this is where my weaknesses are. If I was going to build a house, I'd need these tools to build a house correctly, and I'm missing this tool. Let me work on that to get better for the next one.
You want to recruit well. You want to motivate your crew. You want a happy crew. You want them putting out, and you want them focusing and concentrating. And then let them run. Don't micromanage them.
I didn't recruit Tom so much as I did match visions with him. And it's easy to find people's vision when you're talking about a specific thing and give them the opportunity.
And then practice. Hone your own skills.
I guess I'd gone to one of these how to do it courses that was a pretty good one. How to run your business better and how to be and they presented the theory that you had to be a tiger and how to be a tiger and how to choose your tigers, and so everybody knew about my tigers.
I think Lowell figured that anybody that could make a sailboat program work or make a sailboat go fast could also be a good businessman. So his definition of tiger was be successful on the race course and you'll be successful in business.
I think once you get out on the water, for me, it's looking next to the guy standing, within the guys, that guy that you face on either side of you, and knowing that he'll do anything for you and that he is almost like you are in fear of letting your teammates down.
This is truly a team sport when you're racing a 12 meter or some other large boat. It's not just one guy standing back there, and it takes a lot of people to work, pull together, and that's what business is often about. You have to kind of size up the competition, you have to size up the people you're working with, make sure everybody's in the right position, and then you can accomplish a lot.
If you have the commitment to the commitment, and you do everything there is to win, and you don't leave any stone unturned, then you don't have a excuse in your mind or in your makeup that if only I had tried a little harder, I could have won. So once that crutch is no longer there, and that you have no excuse not to win, then you can perform at the highest of your ability.
My collegiate career at Old Dominion was really kind of what got me set on my Olympic sailing. I had a great coach, a great team. I was there with Sally Barco, Debbie Capozzi, Brad Funk, a bunch of sailors that continued sailing past graduation. And I think the program that we had there and the intensity of our practices allowed us to learn so much and get so much time on the water that, allowed us to jump right into the international field and do quite well and just build from there.
The reason the Courageous Crew became a brotherhood is everybody relied on each other. We all had our little specialties. Everybody was strong in one area, maybe not so strong in the other. But by working together, we could see that we could really excel.
I learned a lot about being on a team, perseverance, working hard. Dennis taught us how to work hard, eliminate every obstacle you can that you think can go wrong.
If you don't change stuff, you don't get better. And if you just stay with what you know and what you know is working at the time, other people will figure things out that you haven't figured out or gotten better at. And then they pass you, and then you start getting beat.
Share the dream with them. You tell them what you want them to do. And those people who that dream is not important to, let them go. Don't let them eat up your time. Go find the people who will share it. You've done your research. You wouldn't be spending your time interviewing them if they didn't have the basic skills that you needed. That's the way, is constantly upgrade, constantly lead, constantly enchant, help them share the vision.
Ted Turner was the one that said, no, it's not that we can win, we're going to win. And here's how we're going to do it. And Ted gave everybody a goal, and he did it with such conviction that he believed, we can win this thing.
If you ask Terry, he might say, he was the driving force behind 3DL. And in many ways, he was, because we came at it from an approach of a sailmaking company. He was an engineer, he understood business, and he was successful in a business already, albeit it was a different industry. So he had the guts to push us higher and faster than we ever would have before.
The weird thing for me is that I always would sail an event and never dwell on what just happened. It was always like looking forward to the next and what was in the planning stages and what was coming up. So I was always looking forward as opposed to thinking about what has just happened.
You find out what the problem is and you do something about it directly. Now, if a lot of your premises were wrong in the race and you're on the wrong side of the race course and stuff like that, what do? Well, you got in there because of either a fluke of the wind or a mistake And do you figure, it's over, I'm going back to the barn? Or do you say, hey, what happened to me can happen to somebody else. I'm going to make this boat go fast as I can toward the finish, and maybe what goes around comes around, and I'll get a break, I'll get a wind shift, and I will come through in the end. That's what's the real test of a leader, is whether a leader just folds his tent and waits for the next day, or really doesn't want to give up that bone.
Staying calm, knowing that things are going to go wrong, but minimizing the loss on when you make mistakes and trying to minimize the effect that those mistakes have on you on the race course, because you're never going to sail a perfect regatta.
With this America's Cup, it was really a credit to the team that there was no finger pointing, there were no heated arguments. Okay, we were clearly at a disadvantage early on in the event. We were clearly behind speed-wise, but the team just kept to the task, and I guess really that's probably a credit to the management, really.
We had the older boat and were the underdogs to Enterprise and Independence going into the summer. And I think we all knew that we were going to have to, if we were going to have a chance to win, we were going to have to all perform at an absolutely superlative level. And I think everybody in the crew, it was a crew of 100% winners. There was not a loser in the bunch, and everyone rose to the occasion, and otherwise we wouldn't have won.
Dominance. Dominance in the race course, dominance in business is a very important thing. If you can get a majority of the marketplace, you're in a lot better position to deal with the question of your own profitability and how you're going to succeed. Trust, the word trust. The most important thing in business, and guess what? It's really very, very important on a sailboat. The larger the sailboat gets, the further away you get from the other crew members. If you don't trust their ability to perform, we got another ballgame. Size and complexity management. You start out on a laser, it's all yours. You don't have to depend on anybody. And then you get into an America's Cup boat where there's 18 people on an 80-foot America's Cup boat. Then you got a management problem. And Dennis Conner is a classic example of a guy who has progressed all the way up to that kind of sailing and is also very successful in his business relationships. Rules. The racing rules of sailing are extremely important for anybody who's going to race or judge or be an umpire. Risk-taking. If you go out in a sailboat, making a judgment about the risk that you're going to either foul the other guy or bang it up. I think it's a very important thing that you learn the ability to make judgments about how much risk you can afford to take at a given point in time. Timing. Timing is essentially probably one of the most important words in sailing. Time management. Another very major one. Attention to detail. Anticipation. Anticipate the potential problems that you're going to be having. Preventive maintenance. Prevent things from going wrong by inspecting them and making sure they're right. Very important on a large boat. This is a major, major effort at the end of the day in an America's Cup campaign.
The stories of these sailing champions and business leaders offer helpful rules to live by. Be prepared to do your homework. Take the time to plan and thrive on being a leader. Thank you for watching this production by the Sailing Education Association of Sheboygan. For more, visit our website, www.csheboygan.org.